Jim, why don't we right now pick up from where we left off on the experience, because when we ended the program, we did not have AEW ratings for a Grand Slam in Mexico City at Arena Mexico, and we now have them.
We now have that. And to be honest, by the time that the holiday intermingled itself and everything, it's kind of we had the total, but we didn't have the breakdown. So it's kind of anticlimactic, but I have to see, and I want your suppositions and theories on how the they managed to wangle. Was it an extra 100,000 people with more wrestlers on the show that have never been heard of before? Unless is this the 100,000 disconnected fans of lucha that have moved to the United States that haven't been able to follow these guys? Or was this 100,000 American citizens tuning in to see what the fuck was with these guys?
Was this the end of the basketball season? We don't know. And another question is, if this is a successful
I don't think any of these luchadors play basketball.
If this is a successful formula, why not just have random wrestlers just run out all night every week? It doesn't even have to be the same people. Let's see if the theory works. Jim, AEW Dynamite Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. On average, watched by 736,000 viewers.
And up, 100,000 from last week.
Yeah, and looking at the trend line, it's well above the 90-day trend. Last week was 597.
Oh, geez, 140.
4-week average, 616. So obviously this is well above everything they've been doing lately. Let's go to the quarter-hour breakdowns. These were compiled by WrestleNomics. Quarter 1, Hangman Adam Page's promo in Spanish, Stokely Hathaway's ramp promo, and the entrances for the first match, 777,000 viewers.
Oh, so not only is that an intriguing number, 777,000, but they're going to keep a fairly solid number of these people through most of the program because that's almost their average.
Well, we go to quarter 2, 8:15, 8:30 p.m. Atlantis Jr., Templario, Bandito, Adam Cole, Brody King, and Daniel Garcia versus Volador Jr., Dax Harwood, Hechicero, and the Don Callis family with picture-in-picture, 750,000 viewers.
And there you get 27,000. They've never lose the minor amount of 27,000 from quarter 1 to 2. This is amazing.
Well, we go to quarter 3, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. The continuation of that gigantic match, a recap, an ad break, and the start of Mark Briscoe versus Kazuchika Okada, 777,000 viewers.
And they go back to quarter 1 for the first time in history. Is that's the first time ever?
Well, we go now to quarter 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m. Continuation of Briscoe versus Okada with picture-in-picture, post-match with Don Callis, and an ad break, 771,000 viewers.
Is this one of those deals where the fucking button gets stuck and is just spamming? Is that what they call it? Go ahead.
Well, we go now to quarter 5, the big 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 9:15 p.m. Mystico versus MJF with picture-in-picture, 801,000 viewers.
You lie.
And that is the high point of the night.
That has to be the first time ever that they've done a bigger number on the top of the first hour or top of the second hour than they've done at the beginning of the show.
Again, I've been on for almost 6 years. I don't know if it's the only time, but I can't remember another one.
I can't double dog dare you. It doesn't apply. I bet you something.
How about your double dog?
No, you leave my double dog alone.
All right,
Mama, don't take my double dog. Mama, don't take my double dog away. I'll bet you an unspecified sum if anybody proves me right and you wrong.
We go now to quarter 6, 9:15 and 9:30 p.m. The continuation of Mystico versus MJF. The post-match with the Hurt Syndicate, Bandito, Templario, Titan, Jet, Speed, and then ad break.
Speed, meth, crank.
Followed by entrances for the next match. 794,000 viewers.
Good Lord, they can't run him off with a stick. Wait a minute, hold on here. Let me look at this. They have not varied more than 51,000 from bottom to top on the entire program. Again, this has never happened before. Move to Mexico. Move the whole wang doodle to goddamn Mexico. You guys will be goddamn kings of the world. This is amazing.
Well, we go now to quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. Mascara Dorada versus Leo Rush versus Hologram versus Ricochet.
Oh, here's a test.
We're picture-in-picture. 703,000 viewers.
Ooh, okay.
There it is.
And when the crash came and the dust fell.
You know what that is? That's after MJF and Mystico. You know, MJF is MJF, and the Hurt Syndicate the Hurt Syndicate, they've been established on this show. If there was anyone in CMLL that you would think possibly could lend to the viewership, it would be Mystico, I think. So who knows?
But I mean, still at this late in the show to not be just now hitting 700,000 is amazing for them.
Well, we go now to quarter 8. I remind you, we have 1, 2, 3 quarters of overrun after this.
Oh boy.
9:45 to 10 p.m. The continuation of the aforementioned 4-man match in the previous segment, an ad break, and the start of Mercedes Moné versus Zeuxis, however that's pronounced, with picture-in-picture.
If you knew Zeusy like I knew Zeusy.
733,000 viewers.
Good God, they gained this late. Again, this is, what type of witchcraft is this?
We go now to the big 10 o'clock hour, quarter 9, 10 to 10:15 p.m., the continuation of Monet versus Zeuxis, the post-match with Tony Storm, an ad break, and the beginning of entrances for the main event. 677,000 viewers.
Okay. Everybody's got a price and everybody's got a breaking point. I think we're starting to hit these people's.
Well, now the big main event, Jim, quarter 10, 10:15 to 10:30 p.m. I remind you, we have a 7-minute overrun after this. The Death Riders, the Young Bucks, and the Beast Mortos versus Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, and the Ops, with picture-in-picture, 652,000 viewers. 7-minute overrun, including the post-match with Hangman Adam Page, 589,000 viewers.
Ouch. Well, I mean, they've got to the ridiculous point at that time, but 652 in quarter 10 when they started with 777 is amazing. And with the Boar Horsemen being starred in a role, and the Buckaroos. Do they need to move to Mexico? So whose curiosity was this? Was this, as I said, the expatriates from Mexico that haven't seen their favorite luchadors in a while, or want to see what the fuss is about? Or was this the Americans that wanted to see what the fuss was about? Because it didn't appear to be any one segment or match that, was responsible for a great deal of anything. So was it just curiosity? And then now that they've seen it, are they confused as to who's who, or do they have a new favorite?
It'll be interesting to see. Once again, the Death Riders and the Young Bucks people don't stay around or come back for that stuff. For anyone who wants to say Jon Moxley moves the ratings, we cover this every week. He moves them the wrong way. Yeah. But MJF and Mystico, there's a clear line to that, and then it drops off. And, the build to it wasn't perfect, but at least it was building to like a one-on-one. You kind of understood who's on what side, and they had the match. If you watched it, had heat, some sloppiness from Mystico, but it had heat. But not everything has a clear line of what they're building, and sometimes you just need to do simple stuff. And we'll see what happens this week. Back in America. But that was AEW Dynamite ratings. Of course, yes. Jim, Mexico City, maybe a scary place for some. There are lots of places in the big world of ours that are scary. You may not want to walk around with a giant wallet. It may get taken. But maybe you need something compact, something that you can use, something just for you. And Jim, we have new friends to tell the listeners about. Our friends with Ridge Wallet.
Yes, we certainly do. The Ridge Wallet, but it sounds uncomfortable, the term Ridge. It's not really. What it is indestructible. And like you said, we talked about on the program the other day, if you've had one of those big fat wallets, stuffed full, probably not with cash, but with receipts and fucking various dreck alongside the stuff you really need, and you stuff it in your back pocket. You walk around, not only does it throw your hip out of joint, not only do you look deformed like you've got a growth coming out of your nether regions, but you're a target. I mean, somebody could sneak up behind you and knock you on the head and take that thing, and they wouldn't know that it's filled with nothing but receipts from former Blockbuster video rentals. They'd think something was good in it. But now with the Ridge, not only can you keep your stuff safe, but you can slip it right into anything. You could slip this up amongst your balls if you wanted to, if you were in a sketchy neighborhood.
I don't think that's needed. Of course, you can put it in your wallet. It won't stand out. And for those
put it in your wallet. It is your wallet.
It is your wallet. Put it in your pocket. Pockets are where it goes. Pockets in your pants. Ridge is there to escort you in your pants with all your stuff.
Pockets in your pants and Ridge for your stuff, because it's a unique, slim, and modern design. It's like the same size as a credit card, but it holds up to 12 credit cards plus cash. One of those credit cards could easily be a driver's license as well. You know the drill. We're talking cards here. And they make these things out of aluminum and carbon fiber and titanium. 50 colors and styles to choose from. They've got a lifetime warranty. These things are indestructible. And again, you can keep all that you need, right? And nothing's going to fuck. I'll tell you what, this is a black box for a human being. Now, let's say you're in a fiery airplane crash. They're not going to need the dental records to identify you. They're going to be able to pull this thing out of your pocket unharmed. And they're just going to flip through and look at your driver's license, go, well, there's poor fucking Sal. He didn't make it. He's burnt to a crispy critter right now, but goddamn don't his driver's license is in such good a shape. If we can find somebody that looks like him, they can use it. That's if you have a Ridge wallet, ladies and gentlemen, and you're in a fiery plane crash or a bus accident or potentially, a nuclear explosion, leave a note in this son of a bitch and it'll be fine. Well, and you're never going to lose it.
Let's hope none of these situations happen. And of course, let's not make any statements about the survivability of a nuclear bash or a blast of the Ridge.
Well, if you don't believe me, folks, right now as I'm speaking to you, go to Ridge, RIDGE.com, Ridge.com. That's even a simpleton could remember Ridge. Just over the Ridge.com. And you can use the code JCE if you're just going to order one anyway, but you can see exactly what it looks like and the way that it operates. It's got this sturdy strap on it for your cash underneath there. And I still say you could also use this as some kind of Oriental fighting star, flinging it at somebody like you're trying to skip a rock on a lake if they were to try to take you down in a dark alley. And see, that's the thing. Ridge also makes the key tag, the key case. That you can fold your keys up in a nice, neat little bundle instead of your pockets jangling. If your pockets are jangling like a rodeo clown, then you won't be able to carefully sneak up behind somebody without them knowing you're there And then if they've got a bulge in their pocket from the old-fashioned wallet, you'll know whether to hit them on the head or just go about your business. But if they hear your keys jangling, there's no way you're going to creep up on them. So you need to dress your credit cards and your keys up in fine containers from our friend at Ridge. And right now, you can get 10% off of whichever you want, or both, or just whatever the fuck you'd like to do. If you use the code JCE at ridge.com, 10% off right now on these. And again, they will survive time. They've got a lifetime guarantee. None of you son of a bitches out there right now are going to live long enough to see time or gravity or anything diffuse this situation. And they've got suitcases. They've got all kinds of stuff over at ridge.com. Everyday carry essentials. If you're looking for something to carry something in, ridge.com, promo code JCE, and tell them that you heard about them from us over here while you're over there. Because then they'll be nicer to us over here, over there.
They are very nice people. We don't have to worry about them being nicer, but of course.
Well, it never hurts to butter some son of a bitch up.
Well, you won't have to butter up your credit cards. They will fit right into the Ridge wallet. It's a great...
Boy, no lube. Not a bit of lube needs to be used with this wallet.
No diddy, but this wallet is for you.
Except if you're planning to sneak it into jail, then
don't do that.
It's unfortunately shaped for that.
But, again, that won't be happening, and let's not focus on that segment of the audience here. But Jim, why don't we let the listeners know once again how they can get this great wallet?
Ridge.com, RIDGE, Ridge.com. Use the promo code JCE, 10% off the wallet, the key case, the various premium everyday carrying essentials. If you have enough of these things all about your body, you'll almost have a bulletproof outfit on. This stuff's indestructible. And get 10% off and tell them that we told you to do it. So they'll know who's telling you what to do.
That's right. Ridge.
Yes.